Hello and welcome to another episode of the House Life podcast, where I talk about myself. Yeah, that's it. Just myself. I would just like to start off by saying that I actually recorded this episode already. The problem is, I used the wrong mic. What mic did I use? I used my laptop's built-in mic. And the quality is so bad that I have to redo this. I recorded like 40 minutes worth of my voice, and I have to redo all of that again. Wow. Great. Well, at least I know a draft of what I want to do, so let's get into it. I got some feedback from last week that my podcast is very boring. I have someone who slept after the first 3 minutes of the podcast. Look, I understand that it's boring. I understand. But it's gonna get interesting, okay? Just let the topics flow. So let's just dive into the very first segment, House Life. So this week, I have been somewhat busy. I was in school on Tuesday and Thursday. It was my first time back in school after like a month. And looking at the scenery at night, especially because my CCA was supposed to be in real life, and usually it will end at around 10. So it was pretty boring. Like, it was just pitch black. But I liked the peace. I liked the lack of sound. So Thursday, I went to school for a mental health workshop, and I actually learned quite a bit. I think it was because of like a food coma that I kind of just dozed off after my lunch, and I couldn't really pay attention to the speaker at like 2-3 p.m. And I was trying very hard. I was really trying very hard to stay awake, but I literally just couldn't. So that day, it was from 9 a.m. all the way to 5 p.m. in school. And it was pretty tiring. I had to wake up at like 6:45. I need probably around 1 hour 30 minutes to travel to school. And I usually just sleep over that 30 minutes I give myself to prepare. So I will give myself more time to wake up. Funny thing is, on Friday, which is actually the online session, also 9 to 5, it was actually 9:30 to 5. And I was supposed to wake up at 9. I set my alarm. I dismissed it the first time. The alarm rang. I dismissed it the second time. And then I dismissed it the third time, and it never rang again. So what time did I wake up? I woke up at 10:40 a.m. I was supposed to wake up at 9 because it starts at 9:30. But I ended up waking up at 10:40. Okay, see, the thing is, I told my group that I actually had some internet problems, but hopefully they don't hear this. Hopefully, I'm sorry. Okay, I had to lie because, okay, I didn't have to lie, but, I didn't want them to, think of me as an asshole who wakes up late. I did tell my teacher, and I actually was a little bit scared because the thing is that if you leave the session or you miss certain segments of that workshop, you will be considered absent. And I do not want that to happen because I already sacrificed like one entire day. It was already so tiring. I cannot lose everything because of waking up late. So luckily, I was more active in the afternoon and my teacher let me off. So great on that. Thank you so much. But yeah, that was my week. It's pretty eventful, but at least I'm able to breathe now. So let's move into the second segment, which is random topics. I actually do have a list of topics. It is not about self-driving cars, thank God. I know that it was boring last week, so hopefully these topics are more interesting, okay? The first topic, weird and specific childhood memories. So the reason why I put this in my topic list is because I just have these very random memories that I just remember for absolutely no reason. And I remember this one time when I was like 4 years old or something. I was in a nursery. All I remember was I'm in this green uniform, sat down eating papaya, and I dropped it on my pants. That's the end of the memory. I could not remember anything else after that. I could not remember anything else before that. That's the only memory that keeps popping up through like the past years of my life. And I do not know why I remember it. I do not know why I remember it so vividly, of me dropping that papaya, that orange papaya on my green uniform on my pants. I don't know why I remember it, but I remember it. This is why I say weird and specific childhood memories. Another thing I remember is the first time I actually started playing with the kids from my neighborhood. And you have to know that I wasn't a very extroverted person when I was probably in like primary 4, around there. And I wanted to play with this group of people, but I didn't dare to go up and ask, hey, can I play with you? Like it sounds so needy, right? Like, why are you so attention seeking? But see, the thing is, I was even more attention seeking because I used to ride my bike like all the time, and I just rode my bike around the playground that they sat at. Then I will like just glance at them and then glance away. I pretend that I'm just riding around. I'm not trying to join you guys or what. I'm just riding around, and I think they caught wind that I'm actually trying to play with them, and they actually asked me, hey, you want to join us? We play some catching or what? And I mean, I'm thankful for that lah. If not, I would have rode around them for another week or two. I never really talked to them after I got into secondary school because we all got so busy that we didn't really have time to play stuff. We would usually play like basketball, soccer, even catching. When we had like the old playground, it was very colorful. There were like many different colored slides. Like it would be yellow slide, there's a purple slide, there's a red slide. Then there's different colored railings as well. So we play a game called color catching. So you are only allowed to pick like I think 3 colors, and you can only stand on those 3 colors and to catch other people who can stand on other colors. In hindsight, it was pretty dangerous, but I actually had a lot of fun, like just climbing the freaking playground and trying to catch people. Weirdly enough, we've never like gotten seriously injured or what. I've never broken my bone or twisted my arm or what. Even though we had to like climb up the railings and climb up to the somewhat like the roof of the playground. I mean, primary school kids, very agile, very, very agile. So that was something that I remember. It was very fun playing with them. So yeah, let's move on to the next topic. The time I fainted. So this topic is quite interesting. All I remember was just, I don't remember like what happened before. It's just very, very vague memory. I think it was like after National Day, and I think I had a performance beforehand. So I was walking down the corridor with my friends, and I have this one friend. He's a very friendly friend who is quite big sized. I'm not trying to fat shame, alright? I'm not trying to fat shame. And because he's big sized, his hugs are very tight. He purposely hugged tightly lah. And he hugs so tightly that he actually kind of chokes people sometimes. Like, he would hug me so tightly that I would choke on air because I could not breathe then. He came up to me and he hugged me so tight for so long, and I think it was because like I didn't drink enough water or what. I felt like a bit giddy after like he released. I put on my friend's back and I was like, oh my god, I feel a bit dizzy. Then I blacked out. 10 seconds later, I woke up. I see like 5 people surrounding me. Like, hey, are you okay? Are you okay? And I was like, oh my god, what happened? What happened? They just said I blacked out. And it was, I don't blame that person. Like, obviously they kind of caused it, but I'm not gonna say, hey, you better compensate me or what. And nothing happened to me. The surprising thing is I landed like so gracefully. The only body part that hurt was like my knee, because I think I landed on it first. I had no other like bruise or injury or head injury, or I didn't break my teeth. I landed so gracefully. I do not know how, but I just controlled it. And luckily, nothing happened to me lah. When I blacked out, it was quite scary, kind of like hearing the story from a third person view. So basically, I fainted. Then my friends came over and they said like, "Oh my god, your eyes rolled back. I could see the white eyeball," and it was exciting. I don't know. It was like exciting hearing that story of yourself that you don't even know about. And it's just like, oh my god, wow, really? I fainted? Like, oh my god, wow, that's so interesting. It's like my first time. I've never like fainted before, I think. But it was exciting and interesting. I'm not saying that it was fun. I don't think it was fun, but it was just something that I've never experienced before. So it was quite interesting seeing how people react to it and seeing how I acted from a third person's view, and I don't even remember it. It's like so intriguing. But yeah, that is quite a specific memory. See, in the previous recording, I did this topic, the next topic, which is MediaCorp, but I think it's quite boring lah. That topic was quite boring. So let's talk about my work. So after O-levels, like I finished my exams, I actually did go and work in an agency. And the problem with agencies is that they kind of assign you jobs, especially because usually they will post job listings. And these job listings will be like quite attractive. For example, like $10 per hour pay for like some event. And it's not like it's a one-time thing. So I actually signed up for this cruise usher. So you just have to like usher them in, I think collect their tickets or something like that. And I was going into that interview or what, expecting to get a job in the agency. Mind you, I live in like the northeast. I had to travel all the way to Jurong. Jurong is in the west. Okay, I took 2 hours. I traveled there. And they told me, oh, actually, we don't have any vacancies already. I wanted to scream at that person, like, you tell me. We messaged on WhatsApp before I went there. I was like, oh, what dates are there for this event? Like, and then she gave me a bunch of dates, and I said, okay, I can make it on this. So it was like, oh, okay, like this is a legit thing. And I went there expecting to get it already. They tell me don't have. $10 per hour, it's legit quite a lot. So I was like, okay, what other jobs do you have? I actually asked my friend, who is surprisingly my poly classmate right now. I asked him, hey, you want to join me? Do this job, this $10 per hour job. Then of course it's quite a lot lah. So it's like, he was like, oh, okay, sure. So I went for the interview with him, and I was like, no vacancy. Fine. What else do you have? At least we wanted to find something that we can work together, So she was like, oh, there's actually F&B. So in this F&B, $10 per hour as well. But obviously F&B is going to be a harsher condition lah. You are legit going to go and serve other people. I don't know where, but they had a branch at Next. You're just serving people and like wiping tables and stuff. I know that it was going to be tiring, but I was like, okay, if I can work with him, then sure lah. If I can work with my friend, then obviously I'm okay with it. We were like, okay, sure, I'll find out availability for that. Then she took down like our particulars and stuff. Then we went home. A few days later, she messaged me, oh, I'm so sorry, we don't have any more F&B openings. Would you be interested in something else? I was slightly pissed, They are like constantly, I don't think they were lying to me. I think that they actually had a vacancy for it when they actually checked. But I don't know, why do you always tell me that there's no vacancy? Why do you keep telling me that, oh, I can't give you this job anymore, and then keep giving me this like hope that, oh my god, this is going to be a high paying job. But then after that, you tell me that there's no vacancy for it. It was quite triggering. It was quite triggering. So I was like, okay, do you have other jobs that actually have a vacancy that I can work with my friend? Then she was like, okay, I'll help to check. And ended up don't have lah. But it's just like, I've already been through so much trouble going to Jurong. I might as well just continue with them and see what other jobs they have. So after like settling some stuff, I settled with a job in a watch company. So I sell watches. I think they sell handbags as well. That was $8 an hour. $8 an hour without my friend. He was supposed to go to this like Chinese department store or something like that, and he was supposed to sell some Chinese stuff, but his Chinese wasn't the best. So I think they actually moved him to another company. I think he actually worked at Adidas. I'm not sure whether it's still with that agency or not, but we didn't get to work together lah, and that was the bad part. So it was quite a bad experience with that agency. I didn't go back to the agency afterwards. I never worked with them. The next work I did was just a telemarketing job. I worked with the company itself. The thing is, if you work with the company itself, they will usually give you a higher pay. So if I'm not wrong, the agency actually sets the pay. So it's usually like $8 per hour lah. It's very rare that you get $10 per hour. That's why they bait you in. And I think I got baited lah. A lot of my friends say that, these agency recruiters, they actually do it for their own KPI. I think it's KPI, that's the acronym. Basically, how many people that you get in lah, how many people you recruit. And I've seen like the reviews, I think on Glassdoor or something. They actually have bad experiences working with like that kind of recruiting company. There are many of these kind of recruiting company in Singapore, and they dominate the market. Basically, you can barely find job listings that aren't from agencies. It's very hard to find, it's very rare. But yeah, that was my experience working in an agency, getting tricked and stuff. Oh, and just to add on, this watch company, they told me that, oh, you know what, it's like, if you work in a public holiday, you get 2 times pay. And she gave me like, that 1.2, 1.3k is actually before your bonuses. Like for working in public holiday and stuff like that. So I was like, oh wow, that's actually pretty decent. So see, I got baited in. That was until when I actually received my first month of pay. It was like $800 or $900. You know why? Because they limit the number of hours that they give to part-time workers. So you cannot really go past like, I think 37.5 hours for me. And I was a bit like, wow, I legit got baited to doing this. And I don't know, I feel a bit cheated lah. But I can't really do anything about it now. I can't like go and lodge a complaint or what. I don't think I'm going back there to work with them lah. Seeing how they constantly cheat me and try to bait me into doing jobs that I didn't really ask for. So that was my experience working in an agency. So let's move on to the last segment. Let's talk. I purposely named it Let's Talk because I didn't want to just do like philosophical questions like, okay, if you want to know what we talked about last week, you can just listen to the episode. But you can finish this episode first. It's already ending soon. So I actually do have a question here. It is somewhat philosophical. It's from this website that I've actually went to before. Conversation Starters World. It's something that is very interesting to discuss about. So the question is, does fate exist? If so, do we have free will? So does fate exist? If you say no, fate doesn't exist, then you have free will. Everything you do will be your choice. If fate doesn't exist, you are not fated to do this. You can choose to do this, you can choose to do that, it's all up to you. But let's talk about if fate exists, and I'll focus mainly on if fate exists. If fate exists, you do not have free will. The zoomed out version is you do not have free will at all. Why? Because you are fated to do everything. You are fated to listen to my podcast right now. You are fated to press that play button. You are fated to think, breathe. Even if you want to slap yourself, you are fated to do that. You can say that it is my choice. I want to slap myself right now. But actually, if fate exists, you are supposed to do that. There isn't a free will because your free will is planned. Your choices are already meant to happen. So if you say that I want to slap someone right now, you can do it. because you are meant to do it. But if you don't slap that person, you are also meant to not slap that person. So whatever choice you make is kind of already made for you, in a sense, when you talk about when fate is real and fate exists. So that brings this topic to another part where I actually discussed with my friend fate versus luck. If fate doesn't exist, then it will be luck, right? I was lucky to win this jackpot. I was lucky to get this job. I'm not fated to do this. I'm not fated to get the jackpot. I'm not fated to get this job. But I was lucky. But what if your luck is fated? What if your good luck or your bad luck is already fated? See, we will never know whether fate exists or not. If we choose to do something and we acknowledge that fate exists, we can just say, whatever lah, I can just choose to do nothing. What? I'm fated to do nothing then. If I choose to slap myself right now, then I just do nothing lah. Like, I'm supposed to slap myself lah. So it is not really your choice if it exists, but you have the choice to make this your fate. If fate exists, it's meant to happen. You have the choice to make something your fate. For example, I can choose to slap myself right now. I can choose to do it. The first situation is, if fate doesn't exist, then okay lah, then I hurt myself for absolutely no reason lah. But if fate exists, I'm supposed to do it. The choice that I made to do it actually happened. But is it really your choice or is it the fate's choice? So this goes a bit deeper, okay? A little bit trigger warning for self-harm and stuff. So this is just going into a bit of a motivational talk. When you are down or you are feeling a bit sad, depressed maybe, and you don't feel like doing anything at all, you can just say that, oh, it's fate. Fate decided that I won't do anything right now. Fate decided that I'm not going to live my life, that I'm just going to stay here. I'm not going to do anything. You can say that. But what if you said that I'm going to stand up? I'm going to stand up. I'm fated to stand up. I choose to stand up, and therefore I'm fated to stand up. Your choice is your fate. I chose to walk around my room. That's my fate. I can say that, hey, I'm fated to do this. I'm fated to get out of this shit zone. I'm fated to climb out of this. I'm fated to be a better person. I'm fated to be a kinder person. I'm fated to be someone who wants to change the world. Anyone can say that I want to choose to do this. If fate is real, so be it. You became a better person and you are a better person. If fate isn't real, so what? You chose to be a good person. You chose to be a better person. You are still ultimately better as compared to you just not doing anything. If fate is real, then you are meant to do something good. You are meant to be kind to people. You are meant to improve yourself. And it's just so interesting to see the different layers that you can go when you talk about fate. When you talk about how fate really relates to all of this and everything in life. Everything is down to your choice because your choice determines your fate, even though your fate has already been determined. It sounds so deep, like I sound like those 14-year-old emo kids, but it's pretty interesting to think about that. So hopefully you have something to think about at night at 2 a.m. And hopefully you actually get to sleep lah. I'm sorry if you actually stay up thinking about this. So that's it for this episode. Thank you so much again for listening to this podcast. I really appreciate each and every one of you, even though the number is very little. Well, you know a little bit more about me, and hopefully I'll be able to continue posting more episodes, and hopefully you will enjoy them. Other than that, hope that you were not bored till you slept after 3 minutes, and if you're listening to this, then congratulations. Alright, see you next week. Goodbye.